Hey, it's Lori Ballen with Ballen Blogger, and today I want to take you inside at Elementor. I'm going to take you and give you an inside look at Elementor, the page builder for WordPress. Now, for those of you that might have been following me for the past decade as I was teaching how to build real estate agent websites on WordPress, some of you have followed me into the specific how to build blogs, how to build affiliate income websites, how to build food blogs, and it has been quite a journey learning WordPress. Now, a little heads up here, if you are new to finding me, I am a marketer slash teacher. That's really what I do. I create content. So I'm creating YouTube videos, webinars, blogs, websites, newsletters, email funnels. So I specialize in the content side of things, okay? I also work diligently to rank on the search engines. That's absolutely my favorite strategy, with social being a close second. So I would consider myself more on the content and publishing side than on the developing side, okay? So I like to talk about things very much from the standpoint of how a consumer or a visitor is going to interpret our page, how the search engines are going to interpret our page, okay? So over the years, I've been learning WordPress and teaching WordPress and building WordPress, and I primarily have used the Genesis framework and the StudioPress themes. My biggest challenge has always been slow websites. Now, recently, when WordPress rolled out Gutenberg, I got a real taste for page builders. And I have to tell you that page builders are a game changer, and I feel a little bit late to the game when it comes to page builders, because I was just so busy focusing on building content and then customizing my own themes that I never really got that into the whole page builder trend. So when Gutenberg rolled out with all these killer content blocks that you could stack and build these pages, I fell in love with the concept. I also noticed that my CRM was now using page builders, and my landing page platforms were now using page builders. And so getting comfortable with content blocks and page builders really is where we need to be today, and that is the future. So I uninstalled the Genesis framework and StudioPress theme on one of my websites, which we're going to look at today, and I put the Astra theme on, and I forget which child theme, the Astra theme on, and I added the Elementor Pro page builder. Now, I tested the Thrive Architect suite first, and then I did Elementor, and I do prefer Elementor as a page builder in general, although the Thrive suite has some really cool things as well. So we're going to get into this a little bit, and I'm going to show you kind of how it works so that you can look at it and say, okay, that looks easy enough. That's something I could adopt. Or you might just say, you know what, that looks way over my head right now. I'm not taking that on. But I will tell you that it immediately got my website into the A/B speed range, using these content blocks that manage video better and manage images better, and how they get put together on the page instantly caused those pages, when I tested them, to be faster than the other pages on the website. So that was a really incredible find right out of the gate, okay? Now, I have noticed, depending on which content blocks I choose, it could get slower again, so I'm running it through all my page speed tests as I'm going through it. Now, what we're looking at here is an example, and this is what the visitor would see. This is a page. It's just a page on my website. This is what I want you to understand. It looks, every one of these templates can look so different. The blocks can change how it looks. No more is there just one website where every page looks the same, or big blank walls of text. Now we can create all of these elements. And at first, let me tell you, it will slow you down. Because if you're just used to creating on a WYSIWYG editor, and you put your heading and then your paragraph, and then your heading and then your paragraph, and you just type and you're done, you add a couple pictures, it takes more time. But what I'm learning is, once I get the hang of it, and really like how something flows, I can create a template out of it, and that makes it much faster. So please bear with me when I tell you that I'm new at this specific activity, but the fact that I'm new should show you how it can be easy to pick up, okay? Some of the elements I think are going to be more challenging for people that haven't used page builders before, but you could catch on. So this is an example of a template that came with my Elementor Pro suite, okay? So I've got your, this is basically the header, and this particular page that I created is a, the page that this is the template that I'm using for my software reviews, or, you know, when I talk about a particular software and I want to list out all the things it does and the pricing, that type of thing. It's designed to increase affiliate sales and sales for my own courses and products that I work with as well. So Animoto is not a software that I own. It's a software that makes these quick little videos. And Animoto is, I have an affiliate relationship with Animoto. So if somebody goes on and signs up for Animoto, then I make a commission if they make a purchase within a certain amount of time frame. Okay, so I'm making a bunch of these pages. So this header is part of the template, and all I have to do, and I'm going to show you the editing side in a minute, but all I have to do is go in and change the text, the button, the video that I want up there, and off I go. Now I have added a menu up here as well, and these are optional. This is the fun about a page builder, is that you don't have to include anything you don't want to. Now it's all incredibly customizable. Now I included the menu. I'm testing and playing with this, and one reason is because Google basically frowns on doorway pages. And in their most recent quality rating guidelines, they talk about the fact that they don't like single pages that are purely designed to send somebody somewhere else, right? So they're designed to get somebody to buy something, or designed to get them to click through to something. There's no other sense of direction. So what I want to do is I want to make sure this still feels very much like it's part of my website at the same time. And I can tell you that overnight, after creating this page, my ranking went up 46 positions on Google after I changed this design overnight. So it was just a basic plain WYSIWYG editor with the headings and the paragraphs and some images. And then I changed it to this, and overnight it jumped up 46 positions. Now, I'm not saying that that's the only reason. Could be the way I put the link, could be the way I did the, there's a lot of things that go into SEO, but I found that fascinating. So now I'm going in and changing a bunch of these pages, and I'm testing them all to see if there's a correlation there. Okay. So I've got that block this is a block, and then I dragged in the menu, which is another block. And then here I have this features and benefits. So this is a template. This block right here is a template, and I just went in and changed the images and all the buttons. Then I dragged in this block here, easily make your own videos, and you can see here, and then this will lead them to the affiliate link. Okay. And then I've got another block, this whole long block right here. You'll see where it ends. You can see how it's got a clean divide there. That's another block. So I dragged that in. So these blocks are templates. They are already created. The design elements are already there. All you have to do is go in and change the text and the links and the images. Like I said, it takes some time. This took me some time. So be prepared. And this is something that I'm really learning as a content creator. And as a publisher in 2021, in the past, early 2000s, when we were doing SEO, it was all about the words on the page. It really was. And it didn't even matter if your website was slow and there weren't as many of us creating content. And we didn't have all these fancy schmancy tools, so all of our websites looked pretty similar, big walls of text with not a lot extra going on. And then over time, all of these other elements have rolled out now. And so while plain text can absolutely rank, and I don't want you to think it can't, I believe this is where we're at now, and this is where we're going into the future, is these really beautiful, visually pleasing, fast loading, sectioned out pages on our website. I just think this is where it's going. It's almost like every page looks like its own landing page, right? Okay, so then I have this pros and cons. Now there are some pros and cons content blocks that I like better that I'm playing with. There's all kinds of add-ons for Elementor, other developers that have built content blocks and templates or kits that work with the Elementor page builder. Each one of those costs something, so you're either paying a one-time fee for an add-on or you're buying a suite, and I'll put a few of them in the descriptions below. But I've been playing with all of them, and I'm choosing them based on the content blocks specifically. What do they have that I need that I have not found yet in my others? And testing and playing with them, checking for speed, making sure something doesn't slow it down if I mix them. So all part of the journey and the testing process. So the pros and cons of Animoto, and then you can see here I have the call to action again. So I have one up here, and then I have another one down here. Then I have Animoto alternatives. I really love this block, and I love the shading and the way these blocks pop. They're just, this really super clean, dimensional, almost textured types of pages. That's personally what I absolutely love. And then when you look at these on a mobile device, then they actually stack, right? So instead of 3 blocks side by side, now these become 3 blocks vertical. And that's very mobile. It's mobile responsive, it's mobile friendly, it's fast loading, it's pleasing. The whole structure is mobile friendly. So these work gorgeous on desktop, and they work fantastic on mobile as well, okay? And then this block here is related blogs that are on my website that I've added that block as well. And then this block here is the author block. Now there's all kinds of gorgeous author boxes, which I'm going to show you in a minute, that you can use. Okay, so I just kind of wanted to show you first what it is that we're creating, what this looks like, and now I'm going to go in there and show you how we create these, okay, in a nice, easy, quick overview kind of version, so you don't get too bogged down in the how-to on this particular video. Okay, so here's the way I'm doing it. I have my analytics open. I use Clicky Analytics. And Clicky Analytics is a quick version of like Google Analytics, but I can get to it quicker. It tells me exactly who's on not exactly, but it tells me who's on the website based on location, device, browser, IP address. It isn't telling me somebody's name or anything. And then what I'm able to do is I can see, did they come from Google search? Did they come from Pinterest? Where they come from? And what I like to do when I'm doing major updates, now this is still a brand new website. It's a year old. And I'm just really, for the past 6 months, I've been really going at it. So now when I started this blog, I started with Genesis and the StudioPress framework. And now I'm going back through and updating everything to look like these Elementor pages, okay? So give you a little example here of what that looks like. So what I'm doing is I'm just kind of scrolling down and seeing where people are at the time. And then I click through and see if it needs edited. So let's take this one, for example. So somebody just a little bit ago was on my Zen Business Affiliate Program. So I'm going to click this little arrow and I'm going to open that tab so that we can see what it looks like. Okay, this was what my first round of Elementor looked like. I used a template that gave me a right sidebar. So this is all customizable and buildable, remember. So I created this search box because I like to let people search around by keyword, and I like to search around by keyword. So that searches my own website. So if somebody wants to find something specifically on how to market on Pinterest, they could type Pinterest into the search bar and they're going to find a page of Pinterest articles. And underneath that, I have the breadcrumbs. So this shows somebody where they are now, and then it gives kind of the site hierarchy back to the home page. I like to have the breadcrumbs for user experience. I also think it helps Google in creating the relationships between those posts and categories. Then I added my social links. I've got my bio on here, which I think is so incredibly important for the EAT part of the Google quality ratings, E standing for expertise. I like to show Google continuously that I have been doing, digital marketing for decades, and this is what I do and what I teach, so that they recognize that expertise part of it. And then I have a table of contents on the right-hand side that's sticky, which means it's going to stay there when we start to scroll up. This one here is right at the top of the page. You don't necessarily need to have both. I'm actually using heat maps right now to measure which of the two table of contents people actually use when they're on a desktop, or if they use them at all on a desktop. Because in my experience, a table of contents always does really well. It also can help you earn featured snippets, enhanced snippets. That's a whole nother video. So table of contents are definitely a must. They're very powerful. I'm just trying to decide positioning right now and if I need both. Okay. I saw another blog website like mine using this right sidebar, and I liked it, so I wanted to test it. Now, so far, based on my heat maps, people are not using that right sidebar. Now, keep in mind, on a mobile device, what happens is that right sidebar gets pushed down to the bottom and becomes part of the bottom of the page. So it's not super valuable there, but I am measuring it on a desktop to see if people actually use it as I scroll, because if they don't use it, I'll probably just go to all wide theme pages. So I'm just kind of testing that to see what it is. So this is what you're probably used to seeing. You've got an image, got a table of contents, then you've got text right here, and then you've got some maybe related articles, okay? So I added this call to action here, and I've got this little about section on the bottom, which isn't super pretty, but it's functional. I'm still playing with how I want that to look. I'm even still playing with colors and all of that, so don't judge the branding yet, because I'm in experiment phase, which is so fun. Okay, I love that. I love that phase. All right, so what we want to do now is we're going to go ahead and edit this page so I can show you what it looks like when we open the Elementor Page Builder, so that you can get an idea for how it's going to work. So right up here, I'm actually going to edit the post, and then I'm going to click Edit with Elementor so that you can see it. Okay, so this is what the post looks like before Elementor. This is what it looks like before Elementor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this block so that I'm not mixing all the blocks. There's hardly any text on this particular post itself, and there doesn't need to be. That's a whole nother long story. I teach long form content all the time, but this particular one is already ranking, doesn't necessarily require a bunch more content than that, so I don't add it if it's not necessary. I kind of look at each topic individually and look at what the competition is doing, look what the visitor's interested in before I determine really how much needs to be on that page. Okay, so let me update that. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to click here, and I'm going to edit with Elementor. You can see here I've got some other Templately. Probably not going to keep that on there, but that's another little thing I'm testing. And then Thrive Architect, that's another thing I've been testing. But we're going to go right in here with Edit with Elementor so that we can get to the Page Builder. Okay, now I heard that the new WordPress updates are actually going to give us, the Gutenberg is becoming more and more like the Elementor style. And I personally feel like where WordPress is going, that in the future we won't probably need these third-party page builders if WordPress continues to develop and design content blocks and sections. Right now, they have a bunch of really cool blocks, but but they don't have the really super aesthetically pleasing blocks and sections and templates like Elementor and Thrive and Beaver Builder. All of those have right now. So for right now, I think Elementor is a great way to make all this stuff happen. Okay, so these are the blocks. And as you can see here, if you've used WordPress Gutenberg, you recognize these blocks look very similar, right? And then I scroll down here and I've got some pro blocks. So these came with my extra paid add-on, the pro version. And then down here, each add-on that you add will give you more blocks. So I added the essential add-ons plugin, and that's giving me more content blocks that weren't in the original ones. So again, I'm only adding these as I come across something that I'm like, you know what, I really need that kind of a content block. Let me add that, okay? I've only been using Elementor for weeks, literally, okay? So picking it up really quickly. Okay, so right out of the gate, it's going to use the template that is assigned to the theme, okay? So every page gets a header, every page gets the sidebar, all of that. But you can make this look 100% different in a matter of clicks. It's incredible. First thing I'm going to do, down the left-hand side, there's this little this wheel. I'm going to click there. And I'm going to change page layout to full width, okay? Now, for those of you that are building a blog purely for the purpose of sponsored ads, you may not want to get rid of that right column because we know how powerful those right side sticky ads can be. Okay, there's also ways to build those back into this without having a right sidebar, but we'll talk about that later. Okay, now right now this looks terrible and boring and gross. We need to add a template, okay? So what we're gonna do is based on your add-ons, you will have different options down here. This first one gives you whatever blocks are on the left. You can just click, drag, drop, and you can start building. That's very similar to the Gutenberg page builder, okay? Now, if I click here, I'm going to access the Elementor Pro library, and this is where things get very interesting. We have a suite of blocks, so you literally can just build your page block by block based on what it is that you want. So for example, let's say I want to add a contact us section to my page. I can go right here, go down to contact, take a look, and all of these colors are customizable. They don't have to be black, they don't have to be white, they don't have to be green. It's all customizable. But go ahead and grab the block you want, click insert. It's now going to drop it into our page. Now we can edit that section. And once we edit the section, we can click up here on these 6 dots, right click, and now you can save. If you have Templately is an add-on software that allows you to store and sort all of your templates. But in Elementor Pro, I can also just save as template, and then it'll save it to a template library that I can then access if I ever want to just drop these things in, okay? So that will save that section, or I can save it as a block in Templately, which makes it cleaner, which is why I'm testing Templately to see how, because I do a lot of creating blocks and saving them. And then I want to be able to reuse them and drop them back in there, okay? In addition, once this page is fully created, if I go down here next to update, click the little arrow, right here, I can save that entire page as a template. So then what'll happen is the next time I go to pull that template, all of the sections will then be intact, and all I have to do is go in and change the content that's in those sections where I want to change them. And if there's things that I don't need to change, then they can just be set up as is. Now let me give you a little example of editing a content block, what it looks like. So for example, we've got this contact us page. So I'm going to click here on this email. We need to change the email. So you actually go to the left here in this little block and you just type it in there. Do I want to have a link? If they click on it, mail to Lori at loriballen.com. Now they can get to my email. You can change the heading type if you want to, if you're understanding what those are for. And then down here, now I want to change all my social icons. So we go to Facebook. Oops, let me go to edit. There we go. See here? So then each of these blocks will be in an order. You just click on the one you want to change. You can change the icon. You can change the link. You can change the color. So in my case, I would say, okay, I want them to go to my business page. So I'm going to find my Lori Ballen coach. I'm going to copy that URL. I'm going to come back over to Elementor and I'm just going to paste that right in there. And then if I want the color to be different, then I can go to primary color and it will actually suggest to you colors that you've been using so that you can stay on brand if you want to. So this one changes the primary color of the block and this one changes the color of the text. Okay, now this is why you're going to be wanting to save these blocks, because once I go through and edit all of this, I don't want to do that every time I create a page. So I will make sure to save this page as a template, and or I'm going to save this section as a template, and then it will be in my templates to grab when I want to get to it. Okay. All right. So now let's get rid of this and let's just say we want to do a full page. Okay. On my website right now, I'm testing Envato Elements. I'm going to put a bunch of links below after I make this video. I do have affiliate relationships with a lot of the software I use, so there's a chance that I will benefit if you wind up making a purchase within a certain time frame. No extra cost to you. So I'll put them below, and then I have Envato Elements, I have Templately, and then this one is the starter templates that come with I believe this came with the Elementor Pro sign up. Not 100% sure. Okay, so let's go through and say, you know what? I really want to just use some templates that are designed for me. What you can do is you can go through here and you can start typing in like food. Let's just say you have a food blog, and you can kind of take a peek at these other templates that have already been created. And the most amazing thing is that you don't have to use everything that's on the template. Okay, so there's some really cool coaching ones in here. Let's just grab this one. So here's a Simply Natural Amazing Plants. Now, when I click on that little plus sign, you're able to see that there's a home page, there's an About Us page, there's a Contact Us page. So you can use the whole kit, whatever there is, to develop those pages on your website. Or if you just like something specific, you can grab that page and then edit it as much as you want. If you click on the plus, it'll open that page, and then you can see all the things that are on that page. This would be a really nice e-commerce site. So if you've got a store, these kinds of things are really nice. So let me show you what it looks like. Let's just go ahead and import that template into our page. So we give that a moment, and now what it does is it takes all of the design elements from this template and it becomes part of our page. Okay, so here's what we started with, this tiny little nothing of a block up there. Now look at what we have. There's the header. So everything that you saw on that website is coming through now to yours. Okay, now let's say there's a block that you don't want. Okay, so let's say this featured plants one. We don't have our e-commerce set up yet, or for whatever reason, we don't want this particular section. You click on the little X, it disappears. And everything still stays completely seamless. In addition, you can add blocks or sections between these sections. So we can click the little plus sign. I can go to this little folder here, and I can say, you know, one of my favorites that I always use is a call to action. And let's just say I always use this one. Click the little plus sign, insert, and it'll drop it in to your sections wherever you want. Now, you can also click on it and drag it up or down. So if it winds up getting put in the wrong spot or doesn't look right, then you can just go in and put it wherever you want to. Okay? Guys, that is basically the idea of how these page builders work. The biggest challenge that I've had so far is images. So the images look perfect. You click on image and let's just say you want to edit the image. You don't right at first understand this left column, but there's layout, there's style, and there's advanced. Each do different things. So if I click on this, there we go. I have to right click and edit the column. You wouldn't even know that unless you've used page builders before, or you're kind of natural at this kind of thing. So that to me is the downfall. I think if I'm working with a brand new coaching client that I'm teaching how to build a website and teaching how to blog, and I gave them this, they would be so frustrated if they didn't understand. You have to click on the pencil, you have to click edit, then you have to find which tab it is. So that's probably the biggest challenge. But here we go. So we have this picture. So now you can choose the image. Now it gives you these free images from Pixabay. Because I have Envato Elements installed right now, it also has an Envato Elements library. Okay, and then it has the traditional WordPress library that you would upload. So if I were to go in here and type in plant, I just want to kind of show you what happens when you're working with different pictures. Okay, so let's just say I like this one. I'm going to click the little arrow, and that's going to, oops, that one requires a subscription. Let me go to this one. Free images from Pixabay, and then we're going to go to, let's go to flowers. We'll give that just a second there to scan the library. This is probably the part that I've noticed goes the slowest, is when I'm actually playing with their image libraries. Usually I just go over to Canva, make my pictures, get them in the right size, then put them in the website. But I'm just playing with this to see what it's going to do. And for some reason, that is crazy slow. So, oh, there it goes. Okay, so let's just take this one right here. That little flower, insert media, and see how it looks. Oh, it didn't insert. Let me try it again. Save and insert. And then the other thing I noticed is that it doesn't have the, I still have to go in and do the image attributes to the picture so that people that are using a screen reader understand what the picture is. So I'm still playing to discover where all of those elements are, if they might be here, and I just haven't found them yet. So you have this little positioning thing. So see how that looks. That just doesn't look the same in any way, shape, or form. So what I probably needed was a vertical image. And then you can move this around, see there, by clicking these little guys, top center, top left, bottom right, custom. So I'm learning that as you're using these, we want to make sure. Let's go back to this one, right click, edit column, and then choose image. Now we want to go to back to your images, and you want to choose a vertical. See over here where it says any orientation, find a vertical image. Give that a second to pop up some vertical images. Or again, if you're using Canva, you can already have your canvas laid out and have all the pictures the same size. That is a much more strategic way to do it if you know that you're going to want to put 4 pictures that are similar to get to look the same. Not sure why that library is taking so long. That is not usual, and it could be because I'm recording, potentially. Okay, so here's the images that are part of the library, and you can see here they're 1,000 by 1,000. So if I wanted to find a similar picture and I want to use Canva, I would just go back over to Canva, and then I'm going to create a design, custom size 1,000 by 1,000, create design. And then I'm going to go to photos, and I would find something like plant. Okay, now I noticed that all of the plants that they were using in that particular series had no background on it. And that could make a difference in how that looks. Oh, and then I want to go vertical. So I'm going to say vertical only. There we go. Now we've got some more plants that are looking more appropriate. Let me just try this one and see what that does. So we're going to drag that over, and then I'm going to download, and I'm going to save this one as a potted plant. And we will just put that right there on the desktop so I can get to it quickly. And then we're going to go back over. Oh, now they're all there. See how you are? I'm going to pick one just to see what it does. Save and insert. Okay, now that one fits. You see what I mean? Let me try center, center. Okay, so it fits, but because it doesn't, because of that background, it's, oh, let's try cover photo. There it goes. So now it's the full width, full page. Center, center. So this is the trickiest part, in my opinion, is just learning what each of those elements is. So I noticed that these plants are certain style, and the background is a certain way. So I would be using Canva probably to create those so that they're incredibly similar. That's been the biggest challenge. So if I wanted to upload one, I'd go to choose image, upload files, select files, potted plant, open. And then we'll just see how that one looks in there. Insert media. Okay, so you see, there's a little bit of a learning curve with the images, in my opinion. I think it gets a little bit tricky when it comes to that. These kind of images should be pretty easy, just faces and things like that. But the other ones take a little bit of are just a little bit of a learning curve. Now, the one other thing I'll show you that I'm doing now that I think is really cool with Elementor is I'm changing my category pages. So if you look at my category pages, let's just look at affiliate marketing. These are your traditional WordPress category pages. There's just not a whole lot that you can do with it, okay? And it's got all of the blogs that are in that category, but WordPress in general doesn't give us much ability to change it beyond that. Some text at the top, that's about it, okay? So what I did is take a look at this one now. I'm going to go to the categories again and go to blogging, and here's one that I actually changed. You see how different it is? This is still a category. This is still a page that I'm using now as a category page. So what I did is I took my blogging category page and I just created a quick redirect, and it's now going to this page. So that way they can still see the blogging category in that hierarchy, but when they click it, they're actually taken here. So we've got the search bar, we've got information about me, then I've got a call to action for my brother's company. They build websites, and then I've got my blogging tutorials. Now I'm just starting to play with this because what I think I'm going to do next is, because in categories like this, I have so many blog topics. Now I'm going to go in and create some subcategory sections within this page that are going to help people get to where they want to get to quicker. If they want to learn blogging, but they want to learn SEO, or they want to just learn food blogging, or they just want to learn how to write posts or, that kind of thing. I'm going to separate those. And it's cool too, because these are also called silo pages. And the other thing you can do with silo pages is up top, I can create whatever call to action I want. I can put whatever my favorite blogs are that are generating me the most income, or that are bringing in the most, ad publishing income, or affiliate income, or product sales, or coaching sales, or whatever I want. I can put those towards the top. So I'm getting a lot more customizable space here to create these the way I want to create these. Okay, so there's first looks for you. I'm going to continue bringing you training on this as it develops and as I develop as an Elementor page builder user now myself. And again, I run these all now through G2 Metrics, the page speed checker, and I'm incredibly impressed with how much faster these pages are versus the traditional Genesis framework and StudioPress theme. So far, so good. I would give Elementor 2 thumbs up for visuals, for customizable, for flexibility. I'm going to say 1 thumb down and 1 thumb up for ease of use. I think somebody like me can pick it up quick because I've been playing around with WordPress for so long. But people that are just picking up building their own websites are going to have a tougher time figuring out each of those elements as they get started. All right. I'm Lori Ballen. Thank you so much for joining me today. Head on over to ballenblogger.com to learn more. Thanks for watching.